Hello, in this video we're going to look at front 11 from arrays 1 in CodingBat. So let's start by reading through the problem. Given two int arrays A and B of any length, return a new array with the first element of each array. If either array is length 0, ignore that array. Now this is what really jumps out at me here when I read this. The question is specified of any length, and then they kind of reinforce that point saying if either array is length 0. This is something we're going to develop as programmers, is that habit of always looking for that special case that might cause a problem. And when I first solve this, I will solve it in a way that isn't 100%, but it doesn't, because it doesn't account for this length issue. So when you're working through CodingBat or any type of using any function, it's always good to look at examples to make sure you understand how it works. So let's look at the first example here. So we call front 11 and we pass it into A, 1, 2, 3, and into B, 7, 9, 8, and it returns 1, 7. The second example, we pass array with the value 1 into A, we pass the array with value 2 into B, and it returns 1, 2. And the third example is kind of that special case where we pass the array 1, 7 into A, we pass the empty array into B, and it returns 1, because we're only grabbing the first element from the array A. So down here is where we're going to code. Let's just go through this header and make sure we understand it. Public means anyone can see it. For CodingBat, this really doesn't matter. When you code, sometimes you put the word static here and sometimes not. That has to do with classes and objects, and we're not really concerned about the word static at all when it comes to CodingBat. So for now, just accept that it's not there. The return type is an array of integers. We can tell that right here. The name is front 11. It's good to note you will never write front 11 inside this function. That causes all sorts of funny problems. Students sometimes get confused and put front 11 in there thinking it's a variable. Our two parameters are array A and array B. So one way to do this is to create a new array called C, and we're going to make it 2 elements long, and then I'm going to say C at 0 equals A at 0, and C at 1 equals B at 0. And then I return C. And that's actually going to solve some of these situations. And we can see that over here. And if we look at our errors, we can see that it's failing in situations where one of the lengths is empty. And that's indicated because it tells us it's giving us an array index out of bounds error. That means we're trying to access an element in the array that doesn't exist. So how do we solve that problem? Well, one way to do it is to deal with each situation separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an if statement here, and I'm going to say if a.length is greater than 0 and b.length is greater than 0. We're going to check the length of both those arrays, and then we're only going to return. This way we only construct C and return that value in the situation that A and B have one or more values. And then all other cases I'm going to return let's figure out what to return. So this is our case 1. Case 1. Both A and B have at least one element. So let's think of the other situations that might come up. Well, we could have a situation where if a.length is greater than 0 and b.length is equivalent to 0. So in this case, we're only going to pull the new element from array A. So I'm going to make an array called C, and now it's going to have a length of 1 because the only contributor to this to C will be the element from A. So I'm going to say C at 0 equals A at 0, and then I'm going to return C. Good enough. Now this is a nice point just to stop and kind of highlight an issue. If I hit go right now, I'm going to have an error. And what the error is that I have a missing return statement. And this is a really important error to be aware of in Java, specifically if you're making the transition from Python to Java. In Python, this wouldn't cause an error because Python is a weakly typed language, meaning I don't have to specify the return type. But Java is a strongly typed language. So here, it says we have to return an array of ints. So what the compiler is saying is that if I don't go into this function, if I don't go into this conditional statement, and I don't go into this conditional statement, what do I return? So down here, we're going to have to deal with those other situations, but we have to guarantee we reach a return statement. So let's deal with the next one. If a.length is equivalent to 0 and b.length is greater than 0, we're going to create int c equals new int, and again it's going to be a length of 1, and c at 0 equals b at 1, return c. And so finally, the last situation, and that is where both a and b are length 0, we're not going to put it inside an if statement, because what that will do is guarantee we reach it. So I'm just going to come down here and say int c equals new, and this is going to have a length of 0, and I'm going to return c. Now if I hit go, oh, we have an error. Where's our error? Let's come back up here and look. So our error is in the situation where the a has a length of 0 and b has a length of 2. Do you see it? So let's troubleshoot this. So it's expecting us to return 2, which is the first element of b, but what are we actually returning? 8. And that's because of right here, this line. I'm actually grabbing the wrong value from b. And there we go. Now, this is not the most elegant solution. And I'm going to make another video for you where I'm going to kind of condense this and do a bit more of a condensed and, I don't know, I guess a bit more elegant solution, a bit more condensed. I'm rambling now. Anyways, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.